Albert Schweitzer. Sometimes our light goes out, but is blown into flame by another human being. Each of us owes deepest thanks to those who have rekindled this light. And now, Pat Conrad and the Chalice Children class are going to do our chalice lighting.
We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarianism, Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart. Together we care for our earth and work for friendship and peace in our world. Thank you.
We're going to have some of the youth in our congregation come up and talk about what they believe. And this is meant to be just two families speaking, and we look forward to other children in our community talking about what they believe. So first, we're going to have the oldest, Jeremiah, who turns 15 in a week and goes to Legacy.
So first I want to start off with how sometimes I feel that some other churches, some people can make it seem like if you believe in God, you have to believe that anybody who doesn't believe in God has to go to hell. So it's or like how if you believe in reincarnation or Buddhism, enlightenment, like you have to believe in that, or like so there's like a set of things for what you believe in. When I feel like me personally, I would call it cherry picking, is I like to pick from different things that I've researched and I liked, like reincarnation. But I don't necessarily believe in a God. But some people don't necessarily like that. So people can make you feel bad about what you believe in, and I think that's wrong. Everybody has their own thoughts, their own mind. No one has the same mind. No one believes in the same thing. And so I think if someone believes in something, you should be able to accept that and not have to shun them for not believing in what you necessarily believe in. And it's really hard to think about, if you know what I mean. Like, even though it's easy to, I don't know, it's easy to think about the bad in people and think about how they're wrong or you're right. And so sometimes I think we all need to think about how we treat other people. I have a hard time treating people, not thinking about the negative and having to think about the positive. That's a big thing. That's a big thing for me. And it takes a lot of work. So I think if everybody puts a little bit of time into working in that, it would be a lot better world. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremiah. So now we're going to have my brother Ryder come up. Ryder is 11 years old and will be going to Mandan Middle School next year.
As a twin, my brother and I have to share. We share chores, a bedroom, and clothes. It matters to me that we divide the work and our stuff equally. I think that you should treat people how you'd like to be treated, which is a part of the second principle, justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. I believe that justice matters. That when the right thing is not done, something should be done to make it right. Everyone matters. It shouldn't matter where you come from. If someone hates you, don't hate them back. It won't help anything. Lately, my mom tells us to do your job when she drops us off at school. That means if anyone is being bullied, stand up for them. My dad says, break their nose with the first punch. But first he says, never start fights, always finish them. And that's why I believe the most in those principles. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryder. Our next person to come up and speak is Seth. Seth moved here from South Dakota last April, and he really likes football.
So, my belief is like everyone's opinion matters, and sometimes like when someone gives you their opinion, it's not always the thing you want to hear. Usually an opinion can be good or bad. I usually take the bad thing from it to find a way to fix how other people's opinions can be good. And usually when I ask people for my opinion, it's usually there's those people that are like, I don't think you want to hear my opinion, you know? So it's like, well, tell me anyway, because I really want to be able to fix it, or at least take the good and bad from it. If that's how you guys would do it. And usually when someone gives you their opinion, like on something else, if you don't really like doing something and someone says you're good at it, or a few people do, it's good to at least have your own experience with it to see like, oh, maybe I would want to do this later in the future. And some people's opinions can have an impact on what they want to do for their career. It's like, if you have a dream that you want to do, like if you wanted to be an engineer, usually you want to find that specific engineering position that you're good at. So it's like you ask people about what they think you're good at, and if they think that's not a good thing for you, then it's good to try something else.
Now, our fourth speaker is my other brother. His name's Wyatt. He's 11 years old, and he goes to Lewis and Clark Elementary School.
Hi, I'm Wyatt, and I believe in questions. If you don't understand what is happening around you, then you don't know of what the point you're doing is. Let's say you're in a war. You have to know what you are fighting for, or what's the point of doing it. The way I find out of what's happening is by asking a lot of questions. One time I was in Alaska, and I kept on asking my uncle questions about things. Like, I wanted to know about the mudflats. Mudflats are mud off a beach that you can see when the tide goes out. If you step on them in the wrong place, you can sink in and die. I also asked him about my cousin being on a baseball team. One time, the kids were yelling mean things, and I wanted to know what they were. I kept asking questions, and he didn't respond. After a while, he said, "You know, Wyatt, I really appreciate your questions." Then my brother Ryder said, "You know, that's just a kind way to say shut up, right?" I keep asking questions because I want to learn more. I want to have the knowledge about the things around me. When I think about what I believe, I think about the freedom to go further and learn more about the world. I believe in the search for truth and meaning.
Thank you, Wyatt. And now, saving the best for last, Alexis is going to come up. Alexis goes to Ely Elementary School and loves spaghetti.
I'm so nervous. Okay. I'm going to talk about why I believe family is important. So, my family has always been there for me, even through the hardest of days. One of my favorite quotes is by Dumbledore from Harry Potter is, happiness can be found even in the darkest of times, if only one remembers to turn on the light. My family is crazy awesome, but isn't everyone's? They always come to all my stuff for extracurriculars. They're always supportive, caring, kind, and loving. That's what family is. Knowing you have someone to lean on, knowing you have someone. Thank you.
And then our closing words are 2 verses from a Bob Dylan song. Girls' faces form the forward path from phony jealousy to memorizing politics of ancient history, flung down by corpse evangelists, unthought of though somehow. But I was so much older then. I'm younger than that now. A self-ordained professor's tongue, too serious to fool, spouted out that liberty is just equality in school. Equality, I spoke the word, as if a wedding vow. but I was so much older then. I'm younger than that now.